Hello everybody, welcome to this video. My name is Faethodas, as always. It's the same name today also. So in this video we are going to see a new build which we will be watching for this month, June. June is the first month, official month maybe of the summer. So this is the build for this first month of this summer. This build is called God of Sun, Apollo, God of the Sun. And why is this build called this way? Because in this build we are playing with the masteries, Earth Mastery and the Haddig Mastery, and we are trying to create a build that will work something like the sun, the rays of the sun, the hot rays of the sun hitting the earth and bringing the day and the summer and something like that. I don't know exactly how to say it more to make more sense, but something like that. This is why I call this build God of the Sun, Apollo. So what is the sun doing to the earth? It is throwing, not throwing, how do you say it? It is shooting arrows, hot arrows of fire. So this is the reason why for this build I chose the Earth Mastery and the Haddig Mastery, because with the combination of these two masteries we do exactly that. We throw arrows to our enemies, fire arrows, hot arrows, like the sun does to the earth and every other planet in the solar system. Yes, exactly that. So the combination of these two masteries gives us the class Avenger, and as you can see here, the name Apollo of this character. He is supposedly the god Apollo. So let's start with the skills, and then we will go to the items. First, in the Earth Mastery, I chose this mastery to begin with, developing this build. The most important skills for this mastery are the Earth Enchantment. This one gives more fire damage and burn damage. The burn damage is the dot type of the fire damage. The dot means damage over time. Also it gives flat fire damage, and yeah, that's it. I have maxed out the Brimstone add-on of this skill, which gives more physical damage and more burn damage over 3 seconds, as we can see here. Because with this build we deal also a great amount of, or at least we try to deal a great amount of damage over time, burn damage over time. So this is very useful, and we have maxed out, not maxed out, almost maxed out, the Stone Skin add-on, which gives armor to our hero and fire resistance. Of course, God of the Sun should be much resistant to fire, because it makes sense. Also, I am using the skill Heat Shield. Of course, these skills are going to get maxed out in the future. The same with the Heat Shield. This shield protects against fire, and also it deals a bit of burn retaliation over 3 seconds, and it gives the physical resistance, only 15%, at least on level 3. This one is going to get maxed out, of course, in the future. And the other one skill, the last skill for the normal difficulty of the game, of this mastery, is the Volatility skill. This skill has a 33% chance of dealing more physical damage, more fire damage and more burn damage, for even more damage output. This skill is very powerful. This is it for the Earth Mastery. Of course, in the future, in the second difficulty, we are going to max out these skills, and we are going to activate this skill, most probably the Ring of Flame and the add-on, but we will see. Now for the hunting mastery. The arrow, the bow and arrow is the main weapon and the main attacking skill of this build. So to do that we use the skill Marksmanship, which is maxed out and on plus 3 skills, as you can see here. This skill has a 21% chance to pass through enemies, our arrows, and it deals more piercing damage, and it increases very much the projectile speed of our arrows by 170%. And the add-on, the puncture shot arrows, which increases this skill, increases the chance to pass through enemies for this skill, and it also gives more pierce damage and bleeding damage. And this skill is going to get activated in the future, of course. Now it is not activated, but these skills are going to get maxed out in the future. We also have maxed out the volley skill, which is a great skill, a combat technique that uses the spear or bow to rapidly strike 3 times in succession. This one is on level 8 out of 6, maxed out and on plus 2 levels. It has a 18% chance to be used and 21% chance to pass through enemies, and it launches 3 projectiles. So in one attack with the bow or the spear, this one launches 3 projectiles instead of 1. This is a very nice skill and very powerful. Also, of course, we have activated and maxed out this skill, the Wood Lore. This is a passive skill, and on level 8 out of 6 we get plus 286 defensive ability, which is very important, and plus 28% attack speed, which is very important, because we use the bow mostly and the spear, so we need the best attack speed possible. We have the very important skill Herbal Remedy, maxed out and on plus 2 skill levels. This one gives a 7.2 health regeneration per second on level 8, and also 86% poison resistance. This is very powerful, a very powerful skill for survivability reasons. And we have the skill Art of the Hand. With this skill we deal more pierce and bleeding damage and more damage to beastmen and beasts. And I have not activated yet the fight cover add-on of this skill because in the normal difficulty it wasn't necessary. This skill gives more chance to avoid projectiles, but in the legendary difficulty this skill will become important, so it is going to get maxed out in the future. But I have activated the Trailblazing skill because this one gives more movement speed to our hero, to our God of the Sun, and also it gives 100% reduced entrapment duration. How can somebody entrap the Sun, or the God of the Sun actually, after all? He can't. So these are the skills for the normal difficulty of this build. It is a simple build actually. We are using the bow, as you can see here, too much fire, and I haven't activated yet my earth enchantment, which gives fire damage to our weapons, and the reason we get this fire damage to our weapons now comes from some of the items. Now let's see the items. The artifact I'm using is the Cedar Bolt. This is a lesser artifact, a low level artifact, but it is very good for this build because it gives more fire damage, burn damage, it gives some pierce resistance, and also it gives dexterity points, health points and energy points. Dexterity points are very important for a build like this, because we use the bow, and we need dexterity points to use better bows, more powerful bows. And also dexterity points increase the defensive and offensive ability. Well, offensive ability works against melee attacks, and defensive ability too. But defensive ability is useful in every build on this game. As we can see, our defensive ability for this build is more than 1000, which means the critical hits, many enemies have more chances to miss their hits against the hero, and the critical damage they deal is almost nothing. This is a very good number here for the defensive ability. So for the normal difficulty, this is a very nice artifact to use in a build like this. For the legs, we have the ornate wraps of the Pegasus. This is a great item actually, at least for the first difficulty. It gives 42 armor, base armor only. It is not that much, but it has very good stats. It gives 14% elemental resistance, it is always useful. 17% elemental damages, which boosts the damage we deal with fire, and energy regeneration and movement speed. Also, I have attached an essence of Sedge's Betrayal. This is a completed relic, which gives more pierced damage, a 33% chance of 36 piercing retaliation, more damage, and plus 11 to dexterity points for even more damage and defensive ability. The amulet I'm using is the Diogenes Amulet of Dexterity, a great amulet. It gives more intelligence points, more energy points, and more dexterity points. I didn't put any relic or charm on this item because I wasn't sure what to put here, and it wasn't necessary to attach something here, because with these items this guy is very powerful, in the normal difficulty at least, so I let it be like this. The other rings I'm using are the Loop of Fire. It gives flat fire damage. Actually, this ring is the reason why we deal fire damage, as you can see here, without having activated this skill Earth Enchantment. Now, and also it gives burn damage. And I have attached an essence of Dionysus Wineskin, a completed relic, which gives physical resistance, very useful, some health points, and 5% chance of 2 seconds of stun. This is a great item for the normal difficulty. The other ring is a very good ring also, Searing Seal. This one gives 45 burn damage over 3 seconds and 10 fire damage, flat damage, so we get 10 fire damage from this ring and 7 fire damage from this one. Very powerful ring, this one. I have attached a completed relic which gives more health regeneration, and some vitality damage resistance. Now for the rest of the items. We have the helm, Stately Diadem of Endowment. This is a great helm because it gives more strength, intelligence, and dexterity points, as you can see. Plus 11% strength, 16% intelligence, 15% dexterity. And also it gives energy regeneration and some defensive ability. Now, when you see, if you are a new player and you see a green item on the ground which has the prefix Stately, you pick it up and you check it out because it has a very good chance to be useful to you. This Stately prefix always gives more strength, intelligence, and dexterity points, some percentages, so it could be very useful for your hero. I didn't attach any relic or charm here because I wasn't sure what to put here, and it wasn't needed after all. This character is very powerful the way he is right now. Now for the chest armor we have the Battle Mage robe. This is a legendary set item. This one is and the bracers, the Battle Mage bracers, actually we have two pieces of this set, and with the two pieces of the set we get plus 20% armor protection and 37% pierce resistance, which is very useful. And also this item alone gives intelligence points, health points, energy regeneration, a big amount of defensive ability, plus 223, 5% chance to dodge attacks, which is very useful, and plus 1 to all skills, very useful. And for the bracers we get intelligence and health points, energy regeneration, plus 211 defensive ability, which is very useful, and of course plus 30% attack speed, which is absolutely useful, and plus 25% casting speed, which is not, it is useful, but we are not using any spells right now, at least at the moment, so this casting speed is not useful for now, for this build. But the attack speed is very useful because we need it when we use our bow, with the marksmanship skill or without a skill. So now what we have left to see is the bow. This is the Teucer's war bow. Legendary item, very powerful for the normal difficulty, of course. This one has some good stats for more physical damage, actually. It gives more physical damage, bonus damage, physical resistance, not very much, 20% elemental resistance, which is very nice, and plus 30% attack speed, which is great, very nice, plus 1 to marksmanship skill, and plus 1 to all skills in hunting mastery. So this item with the combination of this one gives us plus 3 to the skill marksmanship. So this skill is on plus 15, is on level 15 out of 12, on plus 3 levels. And it works great. This is a very powerful item, of course, but in the future I'm going to replace it and make some experiments with other bows, but we will see in the next video, in the first update, what the results will be of those experiments. And in the secondary setup of weapons we have a shield and a spear. The shield actually is a shield for a level 3 character. This is a mastery frequent shield and it drops off cedars, and it is the Outrider's buckler. This is a great shield actually, because it gives a small chance of 115% physical resistance, it gives some pierce resistance, and also it gives some dexterity and strength points and attack speed. This attack speed is of course useful when we use the spear. And I have attached a relic to this shield, which gives vitality damage resistance, reduced petrified duration, and more defensive ability. And for the spear, the last item for this build up to this point is the Icefire Pike. This is a very nice spear. It gives plus 10% total damage, which is great. It also gives burn damage over 3 seconds and frost burn damage over 3 seconds. This frost burn damage is the damage over time type of the cold damage. It has nothing to do with the burn damage or the fire damage, but this weapon is called Icefire Pike for a reason, and this is the reason. It deals both burn damage and frost burn damage. Also it has a chance for dealing more fire damage or cold damage, Also it gives reduced freeze duration, a very good amount, and some offensive ability points at +1 to skills Flame Surge and to Heart of Frost. This is a very nice item, at least for the normal difficulty of the game. So these are the weapons, the items that this build has used for defeating the first difficulty of the campaign. Here we can see the stats, the resistances. The poison is 0, but if we activate this skill, the Herbal Remedy, the poison goes up to 80% and it gets maxed out. The Pierce resistance is very good for the normal difficulty we talk, of course, and the elemental resistances are okay, nothing spectacular, but they are okay. And I finished the campaign, but this character died 5 times because I wasn't careful sometimes and I died. Of course I died before I had equipped these items here. These are powerful items. But what can you do? If you are not careful in this game, you will die, that's for sure. A mortal or a god, you are going to die. And the resistances here are 0, 0, 0, 15% vitality resistance. So this is it for this build, guys. This is the God of the Sun, Apollo. Let's activate the skills. Activate this one too. Activate this shield too. And as you can see now, the arrows are flamed, they are burning arrows, and sometimes you see that 3 arrows are thrown instead of 1. This is because of the volley skill. We are burning the ground. As you can see that the attack speed of with the bow is very good, it is very fast. And if we are using the spear, it is not that fast, but it is okay. So this is the build. We will have some videos, gameplay videos of this build in the next few days. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I will reply very soon, as I always do. Unless I die for some reason, who knows. And I will see you in the next video very soon. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to stay updated with more videos. Bye!